Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to take the source material you share and really unpack it, find those key bits of info, the surprising stuff, and just give you a faster way to get up to speed.
Exactly. Think of us as sorting through it all for you, pointing out the things that, really matter for the bigger picture.
Absolutely. And today we are diving headfirst into, well, the world of professional wrestling. We've got these excerpts from a report covering the very last Monday Night Raw before the big Money in the Bank event.
Yeah, and this report really gives us a look at a crucial night. It's the final chance to qualify. Big stories are kind of converging. The pressure is definitely on.
So our mission today, cut through all the action and figure out what this report tells us about the lead up to Money in the Bank. We're looking at the key moments, who's got the momentum, the rivalries driving things.
And yes, the report even throws in that funny detail about one commentator having to call the action in a tank top. Lost bet, apparently. Even the announce desk isn't safe.
All right, let's get right into it. The report really paints a picture. Final Raw before Money in the Bank. And it's all about locking down those last spots in the ladder matches.
And you really can't talk about the men's side without looking back just 1 week. The report points out Seth freaking Rollins grabbed his spot last week in total chaos.
Which is huge, because right after that match, CM Punk hits the scene and drops Rollins with a GTS. That one moment the report makes clear is kind of casting a shadow over this whole week's show.
Oh, for sure. The report really focuses on CM Punk's promo right at the start of this week's Raw. He comes out and just declares it flat out, this is the summer of Punk.
Talk about a statement. And his goal is crystal clear from the report. He wants that Money in the Bank briefcase again. For a third time.
A third time, yeah. And the report highlights he's not just aiming for the case, he's already got targets. He name-dropped world champion Jey Uso and WWE champion John Cena.
And he had that really sharp line for Cena, right? The report quotes it, called him a bold goof who sold his soul. Ouch.
That specific insult, yeah, that's a key detail the report captured. Tells you Punk's not just going after belts. He's going after people he sees as, well, compromised, maybe. It gives his whole quest this really personal edge right away.
But okay, before any cash-ins, he's got to actually get in the match. The report makes the stakes super clear. He has to win tonight's qualifier. It's a triple threat against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed.
And the report really drives home that his worry about Seth Rollins maybe winning that briefcase, that's a big motivator. That GTS last week wasn't random. It was about keeping Rollins away from that power.
Okay, now here's where the report details something pretty interesting. Sami Zayn interrupts Punk's promo. Sami's not even in the qualifier.
Right, and what's fascinating reading the report is Sami's angle. He's kind of like surprised it took Punk this long to top title runs again, but then he immediately shifts to the urgency now.
He tells Punk straight up,
yeah,
you have to win this match tonight. And the report adds this crucial bit. Sami says Punk has to win for everyone.
Yeah, for everyone's sake specifically, keep the briefcase away from Seth Rollins. That detail from the report. It shows the shared goal between Punk and Sami right now. It kind of overrides everything else, past issues, future rivalries, enemy of my enemy situation.
Exactly. And the report mentions Sami floats the idea of a match between them down the road, if Punk wins the title. But Sami apparently says that conversation would be very different.
It's a clever line the report picked up on. Plants a seed for later, but keeps the focus squarely on the immediate threat. The report says they shake hands. Punk looks up at the briefcase. It perfectly sums up that alliance of necessity.
Okay, shifting gears from the men. The report gives us a good look at the women's Money in the Bank situation, too, starting with a big qualifier match.
It details a triple threat. Stephanie Valkyria, Liv Morgan, who's a women's tag champ, and Ivy Nile.
And the result. Report says Stephanie Valkyria got the win, just over 10 minutes, pinned Ivy Nile after hitting her finisher, the SVB.
So with Valkyria winning, the report confirms the full lineup for the women's Money in the Bank match. And it's pretty stacked. Naomi, Julia, Roxanne Perez, Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, and now Stephanie Valkyria.
What's interesting is how the report connects this result to other stuff going on with the women, like Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Rough night for them.
Yeah, rough. Liv loses the qualifier, and the report says they lost another match later on to Kairi Sane. And what makes it sting, according to the report, is earlier they'd actually turned down help from Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, which, looking back after 2 losses, maybe not the best call. Meanwhile, Roxanne Perez herself, she's making moves. The report says she's actively trying to get in with the Judgment Day.
And it seems to be working, kinda. The report mentions her interference actually helped Finn Balor and JD McDonough win their match.
And Finn congratulated her after. The report highlights Finn saying he sees potential, and this is key. The report links Roxanne's actions, her potential Judgment Day tie-in, directly to her wanting bigger things on Raw, specifically mentioning the Money in the Bank briefcase. Her motive's clear.
This also sets up some potential drama within Judgment Day, which the report gets into later. But another huge women's feud is hitting a boiling point, according to this report. Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria.
Ooh, this sounds intense. The report lays out Becky's side. Lyra cost her the tag titles and a shot at Money in the Bank.
And Lyra's response, as the report describes it, just pure fury. She confronts Becky, accuses her of stooping low, causing her mental pain.
Mental pain. Wow. That's a specific phrase the report caught. Lyra apparently says this rage is going to fuel her to win Money in the Bank and basically end Becky's own title aspirations.
And then the report says just a massive brawl breaks out. Officials had to pull them apart. It really highlights this feud as super personal heading into the ladder match.
The report also slips in a quick reminder. Women's World Champ IYO SKY was there, watching, ready. And it includes that pretty intimidating stat, the women's briefcase. 100% cash-in success rate since it started. Huge pressure, huge potential.
And just to round out the women's side from the report, there's a quick video from Julia. Just stating her case, stronger, faster, better, simple message.
So many ambitions all pointing at that one briefcase. Okay, let's widen the lens a bit. The report shows a bunch of other important interactions, other feuds bubbling up. Everything seems connected.
Yeah, like one really unexpected segment to report details. AJ Styles and Paul Heyman. Heyman wishes Styles happy birthday, but then gives him this just bizarre advice.
Bizarre is right. Heyman tells Styles, according to the report, forget Money in the Bank. Calls the briefcase ballast. The match brutal. Says Styles should challenge Dominic Mysterio for the IC title instead. Leave MITD for Seth Rollins.
It's wild advice, right? Heyman, the wise man, telling Styles to aim lower. But what's really telling, the report notes, is Styles' reaction. He immediately calls it crazy, shuts it down. He's dead set on winning that briefcase, even with Rollins and his new crew lurking. Shows his resolve.
The report also mentions Chad Gable. He did a promo backing his guy El Grande Americano for the main event qualifier.
But Gable also used the time to plug his own match outside WWE. The report notes he's facing El Hijo del Vikingo for the AAA Mega Championship at Worlds Collide. Small detail, but interesting how those external things sometimes pop up on Raw.
We also get an update via video and interview on Rusev and Sheamus. The report mentions their history, frames the current conflict as bully versus manners. So that feud's definitely heating up.
And then backstage, the report describes the New Day talking to Grayson Waller. And it sounds kind of manipulative.
Yeah, they basically tell Waller he needs to ditch Austin Theory to succeed. Use their own split from Big E as the example how focusing on the tag team got them to the top.
And Waller buys it. The report says he thanks them. Right then, the Creed brothers show up and make it clear they want the World Tag Team titles. So, yeah, the tag division's definitely active too.
This brings us back around to the Judgment Day. The report highlights some definite friction there. Liv Morgan confronts Finn Balor about Roxanne Perez.
Liv's basically like, why are we involving her? Finn, according to the report, defends using allies, maybe even hints Roxanne could help Liv's partner, Raquel Rodriguez, pointing back to those losses they took earlier.
But Liv's not having it. The report emphasizes she pushes back hard. Says they can handle it themselves. Judgment Day does not need new members. Really shows her independent streak within the group.
And then there's another moment later the report details. Dominic Mysterio apologizes to Finn about some misunderstanding from last week. Finn accepts right away, says it's all good.
But here's a detail the report makes sure to highlight. Right after they make up, Finn's eyes linger very conspicuously on Dominic's Intercontinental Championship belt.
Ooh, that look. As reported, that's a big tell. Suggests maybe things aren't quite all good. Maybe Finn's got ambitions, or maybe he's questioning Dom's place, his title. Adds another layer of potential trouble inside the group.
The sources also mentioned a quick video from Penta, just reminding everyone he's aiming for that Money in the Bank win too.
Right, so all these little segments the report covers, they might seem separate, but they weave together this really complex picture of alliances, rivalries, all building towards that main event.
The main event for the very last spot in the men's Money in the Bank match. And the report gives us key context from earlier that tag match. Jey Uso and Sami Zayn against Breakker and Reed with Heyman. ended in a DQ because Seth Rollins interfered.
And Rollins didn't just stop there. He attacked Jey and Sami after the match. The report says CM Punk had to run out with a chair to stop it. That chaos definitely foreshadowed the main event.
Which was that men's triple threat qualifier. El Grande Americano versus CM Punk versus AJ Styles.
Yeah, just as you'd expect, the report details interference. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed got involved again.
And, just like earlier, Sami Zayn and Jey Uso came out to help Punk. Led to this huge brawl just spilling out all around the ringside area.
Right in the middle of all that mess, the report points out the crucial moment for the finish. El Grande Americano manages to slip his metal plate back into his mask. Then, as AJ Styles is flying in for his forearm, Americano hits him with a headbutt powered by that plate and gets the pin.
Wow. Unexpected finish, unexpected winner. So, based on the report, the final men's field for Money in the Bank is LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, Penta, Seth Rollins, Andrade, and El Grande Americano.
But the night wasn't over. The report details this really significant, pretty brutal post-match beatdown. CM Punk immediately goes after Braun Breaker, probably for the interference.
And then Seth Rollins hits the ring, joins in, specifically targeting Punk.
Yeah.
The report really stresses how the numbers game. Rollins, Breaker, Reed just completely overwhelmed Jey Uso, CM Punk, and Sami Zayn.
And the attack was vicious, according to the report. All three of them eat a stomp from Rollins, that curb stomp finisher.
And Jey Uso, the world heavyweight champion, he gets the worst of it. Takes 2 tsunamis from Bronson Reed, those huge splashes in the corner, plus the stomp. Just a total demolition.
This beatdown, as the report lays it out, connects directly back to Jey Uso's title situation, even though his defense against Gunther isn't until after Money in the Bank. Remember, the report mentioned Gunther visited Jey earlier.
Right. Gunther's chat, the report said, was kind of respectful, but also really cutting. Told Jey he respected his passion, but his focus on friends makes him an easy target. Basically said Gunther could easily win the title back because of it.
And Jey's response was just that short tap, defiant. But then, seeing Jey and his friends get absolutely taken apart by Rollins' crew right after, it perfectly illustrates the exact weakness Gunther was talking about. The report uses that visual to really drive Gunther's point home.
Yeah, the report ends that section describing the new stable just standing tall over Jey, Punk, and Sami. A really dominant, kind of chilling image to end the show.
So pulling it all together, what these sources show us about this last Raw is just an environment packed with drama, layers of conflict, everything's connected.
Definitely. The Money in the Bank matches are set, but the huge takeaway from the report is Rollins' new stable. They look like a massive threat right out of the gate. Plus, you've got these personal feuds just boiling over Becky and Lyra, Rusev and Sheamus, the whole Judgment Day situation.
And even matches happening after Money in the Bank, like Jey versus Gunther, are being shaped by what's happening now. Gunther's analysis, then seeing Jey get destroyed, it all links up. These sources really give you that rich, overlapping picture.
This deep dive really hammers home how nothing on a show like this happens in a vacuum. It's all part of this bigger story, building anticipation not just for Money in the Bank, but for what comes next. You've really gotten an inside look at the motivations, the power plays, the grudges, driving everything.
And maybe to leave you with something to think about, based purely on what's in these sources. Gunther called Jey Uso's loyalty to his friends a weakness, right? Said it made him an easy target. Then we literally saw Jey get targeted and overwhelmed because he was trying to help his friends against Rollins' group. So the question is, could Jey's greatest strength, his loyalty, actually be the thing that costs him not just his safety now, but maybe even the World Heavyweight Championship against Gunther down the line? It's definitely something the report makes you consider.
Until our next deep dive, keep exploring.